Namaste, friends. I am Sridhar Banagiri, welcoming you to my channel. Today I am going to share about the word root patterns. What is root patterns and how root patterns impact us and how I could transform my root patterns. Today that is what I want to share with my friends. What is root pattern? Let me go in detail about what is root patterns. Let's say if I see something, once we see something, we perceive whatever object we see, we perceive. Once we perceive through our five senses, we perceive. After perceiving it, there is an internal process happening inside us. After the internal processing happening, it tells what exactly we perceived. It reacts to whatever we perceived. That we have this word called cognition. The cognition means whatever we see. For instance, I see this camera. As soon, what made me to say this is camera? Because I could, based on the internal information about this device, I can tell it's a camera. So once we see, whatever we see is called perception. The internal information based on the memories which is there about this particular device, it gives the reply. So that information stored inside us, we can call that as root patterns, or the patterns which is there, the information about this. Based on that root patterns, everything we decide, everything happens in our life. So this particular root pattern I want to go in detail and share with the viewers. How this affects our day-to-day living, how this affects whatever we see, how we can change what is already programmed in us. That is the subject I want to discuss. To understand this in more detail, I attended one program called INNER AWKENING, conducted by Bagwan Paramahamsa Nithyananda in the Bididi ashram. The program name is called INNER AWKENING. In this INNER AWKENING program, I could realize and know more about me, or how I can put it is the inner science. What I can call is the inner science. The inner science which is there in us. Inner science here means how we react to things differently in different occasions and different circumstances. For that, Swamiji very clearly defines our images we carry four images. Four images are the inner image, whatever inner image I have about myself. For example, I can say I am kind, or I am honest. That is the inner image I carry. And an outer image what I project to others. I project to others that I am intelligent, I am compassionate. And what others have image about me. When others see me, they can tell I am an intelligent person, or I am an arrogant person, I am an angry man, or a person they cannot understand. That is outer image. And the image I have about the world. For instance, the world is cruel, or the world is cunning, or the people are very cynical. How I look at things around me is the outer or the life's image. So all these four images is how we react to situations. We react based on the root patterns that we have accumulated all these years. How these root patterns are formed. In the program, we are aware how these root patterns are formed. We are trained how to get to the root patterns and how to complete with what root patterns which are not any more useful to us. For instance, friends, I want to share one simple example. In relationship, let's say in relationship, I may be thinking that I may be thinking that I am a very good son to my parents, and I am a very I see that I love my father, I love my mother, I will be having that inner image about them. But when I am actually speaking to them, I will not able to show that same reaction or the same affection to them. The only thing is, because of the inner root patterns I have about them, I will be reacting in a different way. So this is one of the examples how we react to certain things. That would have started, that patterns of behavior with our parents or anything around us would have started from very, very young age. Based on the same patterns, we will be continuing in our life. That is what in this program we are aware of, and we know how to transform or change it. That is what I want to share about the root patterns. So we can analyze and understand how we cognize, and in our perception about things can be changed if we can change our root patterns, because whatever would have happened would have happened, but the way we are taking it and reacting it will be different. To give more details or more clearer way, I will share one of my friends who actually is a police inspector's son. The image he had about his father was different. The image what he carried about his father was his father is very rude. He doesn't understand him. That he is very strict with him. That is what he had about him. He had an image about his father. So when I had conversations with him, I could realize this way of thinking about his father happened very young age. As we all know, a police inspector's job is a very responsible job. He will be always surrounded with law and order issues. An inspector will be facing criminals, cheaters and all such cases in his official professional work. When he comes back to his house, when he is dealing with his family members, most of them, I'm mentioning most of them, the way they react to circumstances, they react to their people. As a small child, as a small boy, he has seen his father with that in that way. From that day, he has had a pattern about his father that he is cruel and he is very strict and he uses all filthy language and he does not understand me. Like that, he would have thought about his father, and he would have formed certain images about his father. That is called root patterns. So as even days go on, even after his father's retirement from the job, his father is seeing his father in a way that he saw from the childhood. What had happened at that time was the outer world. But in his inner world, he had an opinion about his father that prevented good relationship with his father. Similarly, his father's reaction to his son. Any father will definitely love his children. And as a father, he would not like to show he would like to show the compassion towards his children or a love towards his children. His father was not able to express that love to his children because of the profession which he was involved in. So like this, every relationship I could really clearly understand it is formed on the root patterns that we have in us. These root patterns can be transformed, or this can be transformed to have a life that we would love to have. That is what I could get in the Inner Awakening program conducted by Bagwan Paramahamsa Nithyananda. So this is, I strongly recommend or advise my viewers to log in and watch free satsangs or videos on YouTube about Swamiji's discourses to know more about what exactly I am trying to share. So that definitely you will know more about you. The knowing more about you, what I call is inner science. When you have an understanding about your inner science or inner world, you can create a world the way you want. You can create whatever you want. You can manifest the world that you intend to. That is what I wanted to share with my friends. Thank you. Nithyanandam.